Welcome everyone to the first Blitz game of day 2. Garry Kasparov and Vishwanath Anand, the two legends, sit across each other. Currently, Garry is leading the match with 3 points margin. Can Vishy strike back? It's day 2 of clutch chess, so every win has 2 points. So if Vishy manages to win one, he will pull back the lead to just 1 point. The players are ready and the timer starts there. The clock begins. Pawn to c4 for Garry. Vishy thinks for a bit and responds back with c6. We have the Sicilian Slav here that is on the board. And now Vishy adjusts himself in the chair. Garry is thinking about what to play. I mean, clearly d4 is the best move. This opens up, c4 opened up the bishop, d4 will open up another bishop, the rook will be open on the d file. So he plays pawn to d4, presses the clock, pawn to d5 by Anand. And you can take on d5 and go for the exchange Slav here as Garry. Or you can also play this tricky move, bishop a5. He takes on d5, pawn takes pawn. And now Garry is playing these symmetrical lines with the white pieces. Bishop comes out to d3. And it's a little bit tricky how you place your knights here. Also the queen in the corner is a bit weirdly placed. So maybe h5, h4 is not such a silly idea to activate the queen. Maybe Anand can play the same symmetrical bishop d6 as well. He can also push his pawn to e6, which is useful. And he goes knight bishop to c7. The interesting move by Vishy here. Maybe he's just clearing up the path to maybe long castle at some point, or he didn't like the fact that bishop a5 was provoking b6 and then bishop a6 check could come in. Very interesting. So knight f3 by Garry, and I guess Vishy can just bring his knight out as well. But he plays his pawn to e6. Time wise, both players have 4 minutes roughly on the clock. And how will Garry continue? He can get his bishop out to b4. That's what he does. The dark squared bishop is well placed on this diagonal. He's actually hitting the knight. It's free right now. Like, you can take it. But of course, Anand is going to move his knight either to g6 or play knight f6. He plays knight to g6 and Garry goes pawn to e3. Knight goes to e7. Black is quickly developing here. And now maybe knight g3 or knight d2 also. A nice place. And remember, you can also go for h4, h5 ideas here. Kasparov plays knight d2. And Anand can now go knight b c6. Bishop goes back and now push the pawn to e5, or if you are super ambitious, you can also go f6 and e5. That should be interesting. So goes bishop d6, offering a trade of bishops. Bishop takes bishop, rook takes d6. And one of the things that this has done, which gives white a clear advantage, is that black king can no longer short castle. The rook has moved. And now you can only long castle. That's a very important point because Garry can now short castle here, connect his rooks. It would be a very nice move if he finds it. Sometimes you forget in Fischer random chess that you can castle. And look at that bishop on d3, nicely placed. Black's bishop slightly passive. Garry taking his time. Roughly 3 minutes on the clock. How is he going to continue? It's not so sure. Maybe he doesn't see the short castle move here. Moving the king to g1. It's a long jump from c1 to g1. And it's a long thing for Garry. Also, other moves are a3 with the idea of b4 maybe. There's also h4 as we spoke about before. And Garry Kasparov going down on the clock. Down to 2 minutes and a few seconds here. Vishy Anand. His position isn't great, but if he can get like something like queen f8, f6, long castle, getting the rook to d8, it could be pretty good. And he shot castles here after a nearly 1 minute 40 seconds think. Wow, what a move by Garry. Fantastic chess. And Vishy now gets his rook to d8. He also castles long, but his position looks really bad now. Rook c1, attacking here, a4, b4, you can push. Oh, h4, what a move by Garry. He's going for h5. And Anand plays f6. And look at how the queen can be developed. Oof, beautiful on this diagonal. Knight comes back to e7. And pawn to e4. Well, he gets first rook c1. Pinning the knight here. King b8. And it's time to push forward. Pawn to e4 for Garry. But also there's another move. a3, b4, b5. Oops, b4, b5. Rook c3, rook c1. So many attractive plans for Garry Kasparov. He goes pawn to e4 with 1 minute 33 seconds. Vishy has 2 extra minutes. He can't take here. Knight takes means this is pinned. He goes king a8. Getting his king to safety. e5. Rook d7 played. The knight jumps to b3 coming here. Vishy must find bishop h5 to put pressure here and on the d4 pawn. That would entail an exchange sacrifice, but he blunders with rook c7. And Kasparov takes on f6. Vishy knows instantly, resigns. The knight is hanging and so is the rook on c7. And Kasparov is like, I didn't really think about short castle, but I saw it later. What a win.